Hey guys, GamerZach here, and welcome to my top 10 PC MMO games to watch in 2017. Now, MMOs let you lead an epic life, make friends, build homes, and save worlds, but it's the community that really holds things together. Well, it's time you step into these alternate universes and see what lives they lead. First up, we've got Dark and Light by Snail Games USA. Harness the elements and build your world. Explore a vast landscape teeming with enchanted creatures. Compete between 3 factions for resources, harness elemental magic, and build the world around you. It's going into early access this year and it's looking promising, though with MMOs like these, they could also end up being a bit generic. Keep an eye on it and see how it actually turns out. Next we have the Exiled by Fairytale Distillery. Survival strategy meets skill-based PvP. Formerly known as Das Tal, engage in full loot open PvP as you join player-run clans. Utilize line of sight, track other players, and develop your character however you see fit. Also be careful because friendly fire is always on. It entered early access this year and is looking quite a bit better compared to last year, though with mixed reviews and a smaller player base, it might not grow enough for an MMO. It is still in development though, so it might turn out to be something special if it creates a niche. Then we have Legends of Aria by Citadel Studios. From the lead developers of Ultima Online, previously named Shards Online, choose your path, venture into lawless lands with full PvP looting, and shape the world. Interestingly, it's an MMO that fully supports community modding and hosting, so players can really create their own worlds. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it isn't the best looking game and people back the game for the map editing and modability, so if you can look past the visuals, there might just be something there for you. Next up, we've got Bless Online by Neowiz Bless Studio, a South Korean MMO that should be coming to the West this year. A decade-long war rages between 2 factions and you get to choose a side. This is one very pretty MMO that a lot of people have been waiting a long time for. Originally scheduled to have a 2016 Western release, it was delayed to improve the experience, but the Russian and Japanese versions are still having problems, so it's hard to say exactly when it'll be done. We can hope for 2017 though. And then we have Worlds Adrift by Bossa Studios. A persistent sandbox in the skies. Every tree that falls and every item created will remain forever until a player interacts with it. Build your own ship and depending on how you customize it, it will change how it performs. It sounds great, but it's also one of those ones where it's boasting no set goals, missions, or quests. That could mean free-form gameplay or it could mean aimless. It'll be going into beta and hopefully a release later in the year, and we should get a good look at how it actually plays on release. And next we've got Identity by Asylum Entertainment. Claiming to be redefining what an MMORPG is. This one's a bit hard to explain. There's a massive open world set in the eastern United States. You can have jobs and careers, own and furnish a home, live a life of crime, build an empire, run a corporation. It's looking like a Second Life type project, and from what they're saying, it sounds absolutely massive. The world is 200 square kilometers, 300 players per server, and the ability to do anything as a citizen. Based on the Kickstarter, it's a relatively small budget for an ambitious world, but maybe as they start to roll out content, they could continue to raise funds and develop over time. It's fascinating, and I'd keep an eye on this one just to see what happens. Then we've got Albion Online by Sandbox Interactive. A truly cross-platform sandbox MMO. Player-driven economy, classless gear-based characters, player housing, conquering territories, and PvP. You can also play with friends whether they're on Windows, Mac, Linux, or Android. We've been watching this one for a while now, but it's technically officially releasing this year, though since it's been playable for so long, the hype has dried up and it might actually be difficult to get people excited again. That's a big risk for any MMO. If they manage to attract and maintain a large enough player base after release, this could be a good one. Next we have Pantheon Rise of the Fallen by Visionary Realms. a high fantasy game that aims to combine new and classic game mechanics, a lore-rich world, group-focused gameplay, make use of colored mana, survive the harsh environment, and choose from a variety of races and classes. It looks like a decent game so far, but it's got a long way to go, and taking classic mechanics yet modernizing them can be a tricky balancing act. Alpha and beta are planned for this year, so we can get a better look then, and expect full release late this year or next year. And then we have Chronicles of Elyria by Soulbound Studios, an MMO where your character actually ages and dies. Finite resources, non-repeatable quests, and fully destructible environments. Your characters will live 10 to 14 real-world months, and as you get older, your character will change. You start as a member of an NPC family and work your way up to be an adventurer, and if you want, a king. Or you could go down alternate paths. The big thing here really is that you'll die of old age, which means you have to create a dynasty that lasts beyond the life of your character. It's an interesting element for an MMO, and I'd be interested to see if it'll actually make gameplay more interesting or if it'll just be a gimmick. Finally, we have Crowfall by ArtCraft. What they're calling a Throne Wars simulator combining MMORPG with RTS. PvP combat and castle sieges, a player-driven economy, buildable cities, and eternal kingdoms. Each campaign is meant to be unique and lasts 4 seasons and a finale, at which point the world ends and things reset. However, your character continues to develop. Eternal heroes, dying world sort of concept. Currently raising over $12 million US, the game has expanded to be a pretty big project with too much to talk about here. It's still in pre-alpha, but they're planning a soft launch in 2017 and probably a full release next year. And now for some bonus games. Revelation Online is a Chinese MMO from 2015 and it's getting a global release. Camelot Unchained is still in development. Shroud of the Avatar is also still in development, but a lot of people aren't liking the early access. And MU Legend, an Asian hack and slash that's been in development forever, I mean the first time it was mentioned was in 2004, well that's apparently still on the way. Now, most of these games should be releasing in 2017, but either way you should keep an eye on developments to see if these games will be where you build your legacy or just a stopover on the way to something more exciting. And to wrap up, here's something I'd like to know. Sometimes these MMOs take years to release and often go into betas and early access. Does becoming playable so long before final release kill the excitement for you? Or do you love getting an early look? I'd love to know what you think. Alright, that wraps up my top 10 PC MMO games to watch in 2017. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop me a like or share it with your friends. The support is always appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.